Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alyssa and this is your Saturn in Pisces. Saturn in Pisces is a very interesting, very deep placement for Saturn. It's another water Saturn. I just did Scorpio, but I know that most of you watching this have your Saturn in Pisces because you are younger, because you were born like between 93 and 96, and I don't have it in front of me. I don't remember it all. I should do that. I should just remember where all the Saturns are, but I don't. So you guys are the Saturn and Pisces. You are very young still. You have your entire life ahead of you. But I am going to bet $1,000 that you do not feel very young, that you feel old. You feel like an old soul, that you've learned everything you could possibly learn, and there may not be any more that you can learn. And if there is, fuck that, you're probably afraid of it. And I will tell you why. Saturn is like a father figure. It is a tester. It wants to test your limits. It wants to test your abilities. It wants to be very hard on you in one area so that you can succeed in that exact same area, because nothing good comes out of somebody who doesn't have an opposition. What happens if you're given, everything that you need to complete this life right up front? You're not going to be able to get very far because you're going to be arrogant. You're going to be useless. It's like when you buy your 16-year-old daughter who's a spoiled brat a nice Jag. What does she do? She crashes it. Saturn doesn't want you to crash your Jag. Saturn wants to give you a Jag when you're ready for it. And I keep saying Jag. Jaguar. Pisces, in the same way as Scorpio, has a lot of control issues. You're afraid of everything. Don't get me wrong. You're not a pussy. You're not stupid for this. It's just that shit happens in your life because there's no structure. And you feel totally born into chaos. You and your peers, you're all born into chaos. Now, what could this be in the 90s for the 90s children that have been born with this Pisces Saturn? That maybe it was a big rush of parents trying not to raise their children, so allowing teachers to raise their children, and then the teachers not wanting to raise their children, so they don't do anything about it. And maybe, just maybe, that crazy bullying epidemic came from your generation because you children were just running crazy and being mean to each other. And so Pisces Saturn people have to worry about people being horrible to each other because people have been horrible to you and you're afraid that they're going to keep doing it. So you almost get paralyzed by fear. Pisces and Virgo have this fear, and it's a fear of not being structured. Now Virgo goes one way, and Virgo structures themselves crazy, anal retentively, and OCD like. Pisces only has chaos, is like living in this mess of chaos and shit, and is grasping onto anything to give it control. So a lot of Pisces Saturn people, they date people who are older than them because they need someone to structure them. They end up getting married to people who are older than them. Or they go about it the completely other way and they try to grow themselves up so quickly and they try to collect things, maybe children, maybe, a younger spouse that they can control and feel like they're superior to. It really depends on how you're going to act out on it, but you do act out of this fear that you're just losing the battle with the chaos. You so desperately want somebody to tell you what to do. Even though you're smart, even though everyone looks at you and they're like, oh, Madison will take care of herself. Madison doesn't need anybody because she's so much smarter than the rest of everybody. And that's how people treat you. You're so much more intelligent, and then they just kind of put responsibility on you that you don't need, that you're not ready for. I would guarantee that one of or more of your parents so badly just wanted to be your friend or cared more about other things going on that they almost tried to grow you up in a way so that they didn't have to worry about being the bad guy, about worrying about disciplining you. Can you raise yourself? Or they would put it on your teachers or whatever. And that's what the Pisces Saturn was. Just chaos, because Pisces is the oldest sign. It's the opposite of Virgo. Having a Pisces ascendant and 2 Pisces parents, like, I get this. Pisces is crazy because Pisces has gone through all the signs and it's a collection of all of them. It is a trash can of the zodiac. So good or bad, that shit is thrown at the Pisces Saturn. And Pisces Saturn is like, okay, fix it. This is kind of a rough estimate of a quote I heard once, but say you're praying for bravery. Does God just give you bravery, or does he give you reasons to be brave? When you're surrounded by scary things, it's because the universe or God or whatever you believe in at this point, that's not my argument. I'm talking to you, not about your belief system. Wants you to be brave. Wants you to make choices and wants you not to be scared, because when you grow up, you're going to have to do some very brave things. Saturn's not necessarily trying to tell you as much to give up control as it is telling you that you just can't be scared anymore. That shit happens, life's an adventure, and you need to get over it. Everything is going to hit you very sensitively, and you cannot shut that off either. And so don't try to control your emotions. I don't know where your moon sign is. It could be anywhere. I mean, it really could. But don't use your Saturn to control your emotions. It's like if you're using an emotional Saturn, an emotional stability figure, to tame your emotions, you're just going to get even more crazy because your Saturn has no idea how to do it. Your Saturn is pretty emotional. You have a very artistic bent. A little bit of your destiny is going to surround something very creative because Pisces is trying to make you brave so that you can carry out its creative wishes. You have other people who say are less artistic than you, but just more driven, putting shit out into the world, and they suck at it, you know? Like, why do you think there's so many stupid idiots self-publishing on Amazon right now? It's like, well, luckily we don't have to read all those books because the analytical thinkers who maybe can't write a beautiful new book have figured out how to use the internet. And you're sitting here being like, I just want to go back to the good old days where I can be a hermit in my room and turn off all the lights. Because you probably really like to escape into games, whatever it is, because anywhere Pisces is like, let me escape these challenges. I'd rather not have to do this. I'd rather just escape. And maybe for a little while you can escape into writing, because at least something will come out of that. Don't fall into the trap of doing monotonous things like playing Candy Crush like I do over and over and over and over again, where there is really no reward. That's not what Saturn wants from you. Even if you're not an artist, I'm not saying that no Saturn and Pisces person could end up being a doctor or a lawyer, but whatever it is, it's going to have this different, creative, wise bent to it that needs to be seen. It needs you not to be afraid. There's a lot of hurting in the world, and you already know that. You hear about it and your heart breaks, but you're going to go through those tough times so that you can feel the depths of humanity, so that you can dive in and understand what people are feeling, what animals are feeling, what things are feeling, what the world needs from you. Like it or not, there are crazy people in the world. And sometimes you're the ones who feel crazy. But there are people who are crazy that are hurting other people, because there's something that I know about going through abuse, that hurt people hurt people. It's just the way of the world. If hurt people don't look inside themselves, figure out that it's not their fault that they were hurt, figure out that it's not their fault that something bad happened, that they were destroyed, that they were laughed at, that they were raped, that they were bullied, that they were wrongfully accused. If they don't look into that and say that it's not their fault and get the help that they're supposed to get, they will go out and they will hurt other people out of their anger. If you don't look inside of yourself and fully deal with those things, those lessons that Saturn's trying to help you with, and come out brave, you could end up being a very bad, mean person. And that's not your calling at all. And that's when Saturn, which is a karmic planet, takes on karma. You had a lesson, and granted, it's hard. It's not an easy lesson. It wasn't a lesson that you wanted. Obviously, you didn't choose to be born in this life, but guess what? Nobody did, and everybody's going through their own things. Your lesson, your one lesson, is to be brave, even though shit happens. And then after you're brave and after you move through that paralyzing fear, you can help people. There's going to be a point where you want to do crazy things and you want to get control, and you might walk into a room and have a panic attack that all the lights are on and need them turned off for some crazy reason, and it's because you're just dying for this crazy control over something because you feel like life is just this chaotic mess of things you don't understand. The payoff for going inside of yourself and facing that dark, destructive nature that you might have, yeah, you don't need to be a good person. With Saturn in Pisces, it seems that there is no reason why you need to be a good person. You see the filth around you. You see the shit that people are. You're intuitive. You get it. You don't have to be better than them. And you're right. You absolutely don't have to be better than them. As far as Saturn's concerned, the only reason why he puts those bad people in your life is so that you understand how to be better, how to be great, how to be loving, how to be compassionate, how to be good, and not just because you have this control freak nature that now you need to go collect 1 million babies or collect a bunch of stray animals, but that you can balance it out. Because Pisces tends to go to extremes, whether it's finding structure in a crazy religion or cult, or living off the land and not being able to take care of all the animals that you have because you just wanted to save them, but you can't save everybody. So learn how to save yourself. Be your own fairy godmother and pick yourself out of the ashes and work hard and face your fears. Even if the scariest thing is what's inside, you need to face it. Learn humility. Learn grace. Learn how to truly be happy. Don't blame people. You're not a victim. Yes, you might have been a victim to bad people, to bad circumstances, but do not live your whole life as a victim. Do not identify with that. Do not stay in there. Get out of your head. Find your own structure. Save yourself. Be happy. Share your stories, because you're going to find out that you're not alone. You're all going through the same thing together. And that is your Saturn in Pisces.